I only have one question before I let you go on your thing, because I don't want to sidetrack your own stream. Listen, one question. One question. Yesterday you were talking about you know, I saw the Will Neff and then train a new thing. This is on a personal level. This is just for so I can hone my skills in politics and understanding it. They were saying it, or Will was saying it, that it's kind of hard to apply some of the like socialism concepts, ideologies in practice because you are inherently in a capitalistic system.
I think Hasan always talks about, right, he's a capitalist because he has to work within that framework right now, right? That's like what's in place. The whole idea that he should like give away his money or not make money is ridiculous because that's the system and the framework that we preside in. So you do your best to make amends to that system while living under the reality that you are in that system.
Yes, but I think sometimes words aren't enough. I think the action has to be, you know, kind of, there has to be action as well. I think all the systems that, you know, he talks about that I think are great systems, I think, you know, he should lead by example in that way and kind of implement within his community, show that it works, right? If you expect a country of 335 million to implement it this far in, then I think someone with 20, 30,000 viewers can implement it on a smaller scale, show that it works, show that it's doable. And then if it works, it just gives you more ground. It gives you more, you know, leverage to say, why the fuck are we not doing this?
And I thought to myself, okay, if let's say you don't apply most of your concepts, right, as let's say a millionaire, and then a multimillionaire, and then a 100 billionaire, and then a billionaire, when does it start, and when can you actually make a change?
That's a really good question. I think a lot of people mistake what socialism is with like just being rich or like an overall hatred for the wealthy. But socialism directly is about, or Marxism is directly about what your relations to the means of production are. So you and I, albeit very, very wealthy people, are still technically waged out employees. We're contracted employees of Twitch because you make money off of, you know, serving ads. You make money off of subscribers. But then Twitch as a platform still has, even though we're in a good negotiation position, still has a lot of control over what we can say, still has a lot of control over how much money we can make off of the platform itself, where they can turn around and say, for example, you know, we're going to take 25% of your subscription revenue, 50% of your subscription revenue. So ultimately, we are still making money off of being live. Now, people will say work Omega Law, which is understandable. It's a much easier field and much more luck dependent to be super successful. But the same principle still exists, that other people are making money without actually doing anything. Other people that have Amazon stock are making money off of what we are, what the value that we are generating. Okay, so we're selling our time and allowing the platform to basically pay us out in return for that, while taking a percentage of it, a tidy percentage of it off the top.
Yeah. So I feel like this chain of command is endless. It's always something above, and then it would be like Amazon, and then it'd be Jeff Bezos.
Well, that's why. That's why it comes.
The government.
That's why it's about commodity production, right? Like, so a lot of rich people, for example, a lot of like actually rich people, like real rich motherfuckers, will make money off of the pre-existing money that they have. And what I mean by that is they'll put it in the stock market, and they'll have their money accumulate more money as a consequence of that. You've probably done this as well, I suspect, and others have done as well. I even advocate for it personally to do in the form of a 401k, right? That is capital. So capital accumulation is, if that is your primary mode of generating value, then it's a little different than someone who is making money off of their own labor.
Okay, makes sense.
So that's the difference. It's not about how much money you have. And if you ask me if there's like a maximum wealth, that's a little bit more complicated. I don't know exactly what would be the maximum wealth in that situation, right? I'm sure there is like an amount of like abundance of wealth that is like so much that it's like ridiculous that you have it. So I do agree on that. But ultimately, it's about how you make your money, not how much money you have in general.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay. I'm starting to get a grasp of that, right? So do you think in practice, you would be able to reroute people's mindset and thinking to a point where they function with these like new motivators, because people are motivated by the competition, right? The fact that they have upside potential. If they work hard, they'll get rich as fuck and they're gonna ball out, right? Do you think that you can remodel people's brains and thinking patterns toward the like, I'm gonna spend time to learn this trade and do this, right? I'm gonna earn as much as everybody else, right? Like that. Do you think?
Yeah. Especially because I don't think that money is the only motivator for a lot of people. I think you're a great example of this. You can sit around and eat your toenails half the fucking time, but you're not motivated because you're not motivated to stream as long as you do because you're going to make more money. You're motivated because you have the feeling of competition within you that you want to dominate the platform. You'll be the #1 fucking content creating goblin, right? So like that is an additional incentivizing factor that is probably way more important in for the reasons as to why you like make content than the amount of money that you're making.
Yeah. Okay. So, see, I'm not gonna be okay. I'll do the compliment, but I'm not gonna self-glaze too hard, right? But I would assume that overall, in society, right? I would assume that if not motivated by this, then this would be a case if you were to replicate that in the field in the field outside. Now this would be a golden goose scenario, not a golden egg. So not only a select amount of people are going to like go above and beyond, right? To have to just seek that unique fulfillment that isn't based on money or they're gonna get out of it. I feel like no.
Yeah, no, the idea is that once your needs are met, once you reach a base level of comfort, there are additional motivators that still keep you going. And I think a lot of people actually operate this way. It's just that most people do not have the capacity to even explore that territory, where they don't even know that they could explore that territory. Now, if you were to talk about menial labor, if you were to talk about like, well, what would motivate someone to clean the toilets? Because in a society, someone is always going to clean the toilets. You are right. I think that there still needs to be a financial motivation for a lot of people to do so. There are different formations for this, different ways, like Japanese people, not to be too much of a fucking weeb, but like Japanese people clean their own space no matter what. If you watch like a Paolo video where he goes to the Panko factory, the factory owner literally cleans the toilet. And that's like, socially learned behavior. So some of this could be distributed amongst people through culture, but ultimately, if you were to have people that are going to do these tasks that are otherwise considered unfulfilling, automation picks up a lot of that slack, and those people should still be rewarded financially for doing things that other people don't want to do, and way more than they normally would.
Okay, yeah. I get it now. I get it. I have an understanding of that perspective. I generally do. That kind of widens my mindset there.